Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible, a Wood Elf production with your hosts, Wibbly Wade, Bashed Bob, and Mashed Mark. This week, the delightfully dandy dudes deploy their decisiveness to display the odious oddities of others. Yes, it's time for Bad Habits. Please prepare thy sneers and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Distractible. I'm Wade, last week's winner. We are into the year of 2022 a bit now. I'm joined by Mark and Bob. How's the year been for you guys? How you doing?
Good. Hello.
Yeah, not bad. Normal year stuff, I guess.
Is resolutions getting any better?
Never bad to begin with. Never bad to begin. Bob?
Me too. Whatever Mark said, same.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've absolutely failed to have one or follow through with mine at all, so there we go.
All right, well.
So what's new? What's been going on? I guess we didn't really talk too much about how everyone's holiday went.
I had a flight that I thought I was going to die on for purely comedic reasons.
Bob's the new host. We're going to call this episode Bob's Flight.
No.
No? Oh, okay, sorry.
No. It's not that. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah. Oh.
But it is a small story worth telling. So we flew to Ohio for the holiday season, and then we flew home. And on the flight we couldn't get it direct anymore, which is such a pain in the ass. Not that bad considering we flew across the whole country in one day, but traveling with the dog, having to transfer planes and stuff is a pain. And the first flight was like a little regional one. It was like a short flight and then the longer flight on a bigger plane. And the little plane that we're on, we're all boarded and we're sitting waiting for it to go. And it's kind of, when you hit that moment where you're like, it's weird we're not like moving yet. You start having those thoughts of like, oh God, is the plane broken? Are we waiting for someone to get on? Maybe the crew member's not here. I don't know. We hit that moment of like, oh shit, oh God. And then suddenly one of the people, the outside the plane people, came inside the plane. Which is weird.
Yeah, those guys aren't supposed to be there.
The outsiders.
Yeah, no, that's not a good sign. And this woman comes in it's raining and gross out, by the way. So she's like soaking wet, comes in and is like, we can't fit the luggage in the plane. Captain, we can't fit all your luggage. And the captain's kind of like, don't they design them for that? Like, I don't know. Does they know how many people fit in this plane? And the lady is just like, I don't know. We can't fit it in. We got a couple bags left. We can't fit. And the captain is like, okay, that's kind of your thing. Like, what do you do when this happens? She's like, I don't know. This never happens. We just can't fit all the luggage. And so we're sitting here watching this and I'm like, this isn't a reason for us to not fly, but also what's the resolution to this? Whoever's bags didn't get on, they're just like, well, fuck you guys. Sorry. We lost your bags. They'll be here whenever. So the captain is like not interested. He's clearly out of, he's tired, whatever. And the lady's just like, you got any extra seats? And, there's a whole exchange, right? It's like, you got extra seats? If there's too many bags, how could we possibly have extra seats? And one of the flight attendants chimes in like, yeah, we got a couple empty seats. And the lady's like, well, we can just put them in there. And the captain's like, I don't think you can put bags in seats. That doesn't seem right. Is there a rule about that? Like, everyone is just talking and it's like, how do none of you know what's happening? I'm sure it's safe, maybe, but this plane is about to fly through the sky and you're just like, yeah, just stick them in. And so eventually the captain is like, executive decision, no putting bags in seats. That seems bad. And they're like, well, we'll wedge them under the seats in like the, in the carry-on. And then, how there's like the closet at the front where the like crew can put like their jackets or whatever. Yeah. At some point, one of the flight attendants is like, well, we got the closet. What if we take the jackets and stuff out of the closet and just wedge it with suitcases? And the baggage person is like, yeah, that'll work. And it's like a clown car. They keep bringing bags and they put one and then one and they stack the whole closet and there's like a little bit at the top and she's like, we could fit one in there. And the flight attendants are like, oh, don't break stuff. And the outside bag person is like, they don't break, and starts slamming the bag in there, like wedging it, and like they get it wedged and then they start trying to close the door. It's like a sliding door on the closet. And it's like that thing that like kids do where, you stuff everything in the closet. And as you're closing the door, you have to have your fingers and be like, tuck that in, tuck that in, tuck that in. Yeah. So this goes on for like 25 minutes. All open conversations in front of the whole plane. I don't know if anyone else is paying attention, but I'm just watching it. I'm like, these planes are engineered to have specific, weight limits. I'm sure if the bags aren't fitting, that probably means you've reached the maximum amount of bags you're supposed to have. There's like weight distributions. I don't think you're supposed to have several hundred pounds of bags in the coat closet at the front of the plane. Like, my mind is just racing through all of this stuff of like, they're packing it like it's the family station wagon, but it's a carefully engineered flying machine. Obviously, I'm alive, but there was just like the weirdest delay. It wasn't even like I was mad. I was just watching, just like, is that okay? They're just piling bags in. Like, they're trying to strap them into the seats like they're people. That doesn't seem right. I don't know.
I would love it if they had to like call someone, like a manager, to come in. They're like, oh man, I don't know. I guess we'll have to call the engineer in. They call the engineer and he's like, well, I engineer the engines. I don't really know about the weight distribution. I'll have to call in the weight distribution engineer. And like, just more and more people keep coming in, like staring at this closet to see if the bags are okay there.
I would have preferred that. I think the biggest thing was they kept looking at the captain, right? The pilot guy. And I'm sure he knows everything about flying the plane, but they would be like, oh, can we do that with the bags? And he's like, I don't know.
You describe him as being like kind of tired and disinterested, which are two qualities I would not want in my captain also.
I mean, look, planes basically fly themselves. As long as he's there for takeoff and landing, I'm sure it's fine. Pilots are probably exhausted because it's busy and they're doing lots of flights, I'm sure. But like, everyone kept looking at him like he should know, and his only answer was like, ugh, I don't do bags, I don't really handle passengers, anything behind the cockpit door, I don't know. And then they would just be like, okay, we'll just make the decision ourselves. A flight attendant and a baggage handler. We probably know all the rules about airplanes and stuff. Maybe they do. Maybe they just weren't communicating to us because we weren't really part of that. It just was like, I think I tweeted too. I was watching this, and as they're doing this, I tweeted like, if you see reports of a plane falling out of the sky because it was comedically packed and unbalanced or something, that was us. It's been nice.
I'd like to think there was a prank. The other flights around you were diverting their bags just to see how these guys handled it. Like, yeah, we'll get it sorted out later. Just throw a few more bags in there. See what happens. I want to see it pop. All the windows like explode out and bags shooting everywhere.
I guess it's fine. Guess we're fine, so worked out.
Well, you are alive and still here, right?
Yes.
On your tweet, Bob, the flight crew is stashing extra bags all over this flight like it's a family station wagon, and we gotta wedge grandma's Christmas presents up against the roof.
It really, like, the mix of tones was rough because the baggage handler person from outside the plane was just like, we gotta get them in, they'll be fine, and all the people on the plane were like, I don't know the rules about this. I think it'll be fine. Is that bad? I don't think that's bad. It's like, oh, at least pretend to be confident. Goddamn.
I can't believe they had this conversation like not elsewhere, right in front of all of you.
Yeah, where else would they have it? They're not going to go off the plane. Someone would put bags in their spot.
Like, I don't know, sometimes they lock themselves into the cockpit, unless it's like a really small plane, I guess.
No, it was a regional flight. It was like the world's smallest airplane, those ones where there's like 120 people on it, but also none of you are more than 6 inches away from each other.
Yeah.
They had nowhere to go. Like, I could hear the conversation in the cockpit from where we were because it was 30 feet away.
I imagine everyone on the plane was sitting there listening and like looking around like, is anyone else worried? No, everyone else is playing it cool. All right, I'll play it cool.
I mean, well, no one was worried. It was all the people on the plane being like, I could stack those bags nicely. Let me take a crack at it. Hey, you need some hands up there?
All the dads on the plane were like, oh, you gotta turn that one. You did this all wrong.
Put a handle first.
I'm just gonna repack this. You did it all wrong.
The problem is these wires and pipes and tubes here. If we just move those, there's more room for bags.
Can I trim some of this extra cable out of here? Do you need this?
What's with all this oxygen? There's oxygen in the air. Open the window.
We really needed an oxygen mask for every single person, plus children.
Oh, we can't cut down the rainforest because we need the oxygen, but look at you making your own right here.
Yeah. But it's fine.
That's good. I'm glad you're alive because I don't think I would have expected that after hearing that.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
Wasn't there a plane that had issues last year because of bags not being like distributed properly in the bottom?
I'm sure, yes.
It was probably those guys. It was those exact people.
The same crew.
This one combination of people keeps getting together because they all fly out of the same airport and work.
Yeah.
And this one baggage handling lady is just like, it'll fit. Just wait, it'll fit in there.
The guys are actually 3 suitcases in a trench coat that are plotting their revenge against everyone.
They're quietly shipping the entire suitcase army into position for the takeover. So that's Christmas.
Yeah.
I hate to ask, but how was your New Year?
While I was boarding this submarine, No, New Year's was cool. My family plays a lot of Pinochle. Played a lot of Pinochle. It's a fun time.
Peanuck.
Fun card game.
Mark, how was your holidays?
Honestly, I didn't do anything that warranted any kind of story. I was pretty much home the whole time. I played a lot of video games, made some videos. There was Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. That was like the entirety of my holidays because
Those always drop at the worst possible time.
I mean, it was good timing for me because I had nothing else to do, and it was like, oh yeah, content.
Well, that's true. For you, it would have been, yeah, if you're like at home. But can you imagine if you were like traveling or in Cincy or something and that dropped right then?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, and I don't mean to be egotistical about it, but people seem to be willing to wait for me to play those games.
Oh yeah, me too. They're still waiting. They'll be waiting a while, but yeah, they're waiting.
But I was just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I try to be topical, but I'm not going to destroy myself to try to get it up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did. I got nothing. Give Bob the points. I deserve nothing.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Bob, have 3 points, one per grandma's present you had to hold the whole trip.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Don't forget, you're the host.
I don't know why I assume your grandma gave you 3 presents, but I'm assuming you got 3.
Because my grandma loves me.
Sure.
And hasn't listened to this podcast yet, so her opinion has not changed.
Well, I saw my aunt on Christmas Eve, and while visiting, we found out that my mom had tested positive for COVID, and we'd seen her a few days before. So then Molly and I were like scrambling, trying to stay away from my family. We ended up being locked up Christmas Day, the next day.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just scrambling. I just imagine you're all sitting around. You get a call or a text. So they're like, "Oh God, no, mom tested positive. Mom, shit, we were just with her 2 days ago. Molly, we gotta go. You're just like running out the house, and your family's like, wait.
Yeah, they're like serving dessert. And they're like, "Would you like some pie?" And we're like, "We gotta go." We just book it out.
We're already together. No, we gotta get out of here. Stay back. Weird Christmas chase scene going on outside in the neighborhood.
No, we found out a little bit before we saw my family. We tried to get tested and everything else, and it was just a nightmare. All the places were out of test, and lines were hours long, and it was just a complete disaster. Then Christmas Day, we stayed home, didn't see anybody. We spent New Year's. We didn't even watch the ball drop or anything on New Year's. We just looked at the clock like, oh, it's after midnight. Happy New Year, I guess. And that was it. It was so lame. It was a rough week and a half, 2 week span there, but it's the new year now. And as such, we're going to talk about a very uplifting topic today. And that is all of your shitty bad habits.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, let's talk about some bad habits people have.
I gotta go this episode. I just remembered.
I'm sorry. We're already together. The doors are locked.
Suddenly, I feel really sick. Kind of like right before that sour challenge thing we did. I don't feel so good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, super weird. I
think lying might be a bad habit you two need to work on.
You got me. That's my bad habit. All right. Okay. Good episode, man. All right.
You're not done yet.
All right.
Oh God. That seems like a get approval before we start the episode type of topic, but I guess we're doing it.
I made sure to keep this one close to the vest, and I will let y'all in on my couple of bad habits I have right off the bat. Looking at this list of top 10 bad habits, there's some lists that are like hundreds long, 50 long, but the top 10 on this list are smoking, swearing, picking your nose, biting your fingernails, drinking too much coffee, watching reality TV, fast food, alcohol. How alcohol's 8th on the list, I don't know. After watching reality TV, that's a worse bad habit than alcohol, apparently.
It is.
Going shopping, or what's the retail therapy, and racking up debt on your credit cards, which I guess is around the same thing.
Oh,
those are the
God.
top 10 listed here. I swear a lot. I'm a nail biter and I eat a lot of fast food. I got to admit to those right off the bat. But my nail biting has been one I have been trying to break since I was like single digits, and I have been unable to successfully break it. I still bite my nails like a madman.
As you mentioned that, I'm looking at my nails that I freshly bit just this morning. Like legitimately just this morning.
I actually don't do that. It's a miracle.
When I don't have nails left, I bite the skin around the nails.
Wait.
Well, I do that. I bite my like cuticles and hangnails and stuff. So it's the same difference, I guess.
I'm a cannibal of my own body.
Yeah, it's fine. It's normal. I see this list. This nail biting is making your hands ugly. Sleeping in is making you late. Smoking, fast food, sitting all day, and wasting all time. 4 out of the 5 of those I do, but I have an objection with some of these.
What's that?
Because yes, I have bad habits. I know that. But fast food doesn't necessarily make you fat. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it is.
Fast food can be convenient if you make good choices with it. It's not that one type of food is bad.
as a fat myself, I can tell you, eat one McDouble, you're fat. No way around it.
That's why I don't get the McDouble. I get the double cheeseburger, so that way it has 2 slices of cheese, not one.
Yeah.
Well, you don't put anything else on it, so it might be any of those ingredients you omit. But I disagree with that statement fundamentally, even though my experience in being fat is not the same. But it's like I sit all day as well, and it says sitting all day is making you fat. I sit all day, and wasting time online. That's what we're doing, and the good people of this podcast are doing right now.
That's my job. I don't know.
That's all of our jobs.
I know.
We can't let them do this to us. Our bad habits do not need to be shamed, and we don't need to talk about them publicly. I am raising an uprising against this podcast episode.
Okay, well, let's continue to talk about our bad habits publicly and shame each other for them.
Okay, all right, fine. I was gonna do my best.
I did the same thing. I was just like Googling like what are the most common bad habits, and when you brought it up, Wade, obviously I thought it. I was like, oh no, I have a few things. I do all the things on this list. I didn't even know some of these were bad habits. This is some real shit that you do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This list has hanging out with naysayers as number 3.
Hanging out with naysayers. Who wrote that?
Which list are you looking at?
Yeah,
I've got
what list is
173 bad habits. Link it in the Discord.
Okay, I'm gonna link both of them. I've got a Pavlok and a life hack.
Okay, I got Pavlok. That's what I'm looking at right now.
I'm looking at examples.yourdictionary. You know what? This is probably not a good list. I'm gonna switch to Pavlok. Seriously though, I do all of this.
None of these have opening Twitter 15 tabs on your computer as a bad habit, and I feel like that's one I do a lot.
Okay, yeah. Wait, okay, swearing, yes. What is trichotillomania?
What the hell is that?
Pulling hair?
Oh, that's number 2. How is swearing number 1? You know what's probably worse than that? I don't know. Smoking cigarettes?
Yeah. What kind of saint wrote this list, huh?
Drinking tea is on top of alcohol.
Why is tea a bad habit?
This person just hates British people.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
Did we figure out what trichotillomania is?
It's pulling hair, so I think it's like ripping hair out.
Wait, how is pulling hair different than hair picking?
Now, I will admit, what if I combine number 2 and number 3, where I don't do this often, but I'll rip nose hairs out
I've done the same thing.
just so I can feel something.
You what? Why would you do that?
I take my thumb and my middle finger, I find a nose, I'm like, that can't be there, and I yank the fucker out.
Exactly. I do the same thing. It's usually when I'm looking in the mirror and I scrunch my nose up and I see hairs poking down. I'm like, can't allow this.
That's not my mustache, that's my nose.
And yeah, it hurts like a bitch, but it's for grooming's sake. It's perfectly normal.
Dude, the people that wrote these lists just hate life. On this list, on the Pavlok one, eating candy, not eating too much candy, just eating candy ever. Eating chocolate ever.
Eating meat, just meat.
Eating meat.
Having a sad existence.
Snacking.
Using
slang. I shall never use a slang term.
Lol.
I know.
Good God. Eating candy, eating white sugar, eating chocolate.
Chewing gum.
Humming to yourself.
Eating dairy, eating anything.
I don't think these are bad habits. I think this is a person who just hates life.
Snacking, sleeping in.
Using your maiden name is number 33.
Giving away tells in poker.
Yeah.
Not holding eye contact.
Watching TV right after work. What do you want me to watch it? During work?
Nibbling while cooking. Overspending, underspending, overeating, undereating.
Overspending, underspending, normal spending.
This just in. Using your maiden name is twice the bad habit that not brushing your teeth is.
Wow. Over medicating? What?
Why don't they just put dying on the list?
This one's not even this is an accident. Forgetting your wallet or keys in random places. That's an accident.
Okay, well, hold on. I do that all the time.
No, you're atrocious, but it's not on purpose. It's not a habit if you don't do it.
You're right.
I guess it is
You're
a
right.
habit
Okay.
if you do it a lot, even if it's something you do accidentally.
No. Let's define a habit, because I was actually just watching a video about this yesterday, where a habit is divided up into 4 different segments. There's a cue, which cues you to start thinking about the habit. habit. There's something else. There's another name for the second step, which is like
Wow.
something.
Thank you. This is illuminating.
Cool.
The third one is action and reward. It's Q something starts with a C.
Come.
Action reward. Come? Did you say come?
Q, come and break the habit.
Q come. Q come action reward. It's like a director on a porn set. Q come action.
That's how they make cucumbers. The third step must be burr. Q, you come and you burr.
The cucumber of a bad habit. Yeah, we all know it. We all know it. But no, okay, so a habit is it's a cyclical process that starts with you doing something that has a reward at the end of it, whether it's conscious or unconscious of you doing the habit. That's a habit, right? You've done it so much that you just, it's what you do. So half of these don't apply to that. What are you laughing at?
I gotta throw this in there. Number 135 is shoplifting. 136, and I quote, M&Ms. Just M&Ms.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Scratching an itch is apparently a bad habit.
156, kissing and telling.
I feel like this list is just like a nun standing in front of a class of teenagers. It's just like, you've all developed a lot of bad habits with your cell phones and your gum and your M&Ms and your shoplifts. Like, what are you just listing things you don't like? We don't.
Borrowing and not returning items, belching, bullying people. What a bad habit that is.
The 152 and 153 are just flaking out and freeloading. What is this, a 1970s dad trying to shame you into being a better son?
Why is 127 specifically watching Seinfeld reruns? Like, what is that about?
Is this a meme?
Only Seinfeld.
So just to clarify, I do feel like this is a list. I guess it's a list of bad habits is what it's written as. This is a list for a device called the Pavlok, which is a wearable device that helps you break bad habits by shocking your wrist.
Wait, you're saying there's a way I could stop watching Seinfeld reruns?
For 5 days, you do the habit you want to quit. Pavlok will administer an electric stimulus as you do the bad habit, and a vibration as you do good habits. It's just a shock collar for humans that shocks you out of doing apparently the worst thing in the world, which is watching Seinfeld reruns.
Or Pocari Sweat from Japan. Seriously, if you drink this for 2 or 3 days, your body will crave it instead of water, in parentheses. That's the longest one written out here, I think.
I know, I see that one. Putting dishes in sink and not washing them, which I have heard is something you shouldn't do. You should not pre-wash your dishes because modern dishwashers are efficient enough that you don't need to do it.
I don't like crap caked on my dishes.
No,
I
you
pre-wash
scrape
if
the
they're
food.
bad.
No, you scrape the food off, but you let the dishwasher do its job.
Sure. I mean, I don't wash them completely, but I wash the gunk off.
Don't even bother.
You have to.
No.
I don't know what
I watched
dishwasher
a
you have
TikTok
in your
that
fancy
said
house.
you don't have to do none of the pre-washing.
How many mobile games do you think there are out there? Because only Kingdom Rush is a bad habit, according to this.
This episode of Distractible is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I forgot.
Are we? We must have missed that one in the ads. Hang on, Raid.
Brought to you by
I think I might be the only human who's not played that game. It seems to be very popular. You play Raid, right, Wade?
I did. I've not played it in a bit, but I was playing it for a few months earlier in the year. Yeah, I was playing it a lot. It was fun. It was fun, strategic. I have a gripe with all mobile games, and that's that you get to a certain point in a game, and it's like you literally can't compete unless you have thousands of dollars to pour into these games to like get the best of everything.
Yeah.
Or else it takes 10 years to get something that's outdated by the time next month rolls around.
Yeah.
But, you know, mobile games are a bad habit.
They are.
We should break them.
Especially that one.
Yeah.
Kingdom Rush.
Have you guys ever tried, though? Have you ever really tried breaking a bad habit? I have tried to stop biting my nails, like hardcore. I actually re-chipped my tooth a few months ago biting a hangnail.
That's Not a good thing to do.
No.
This is such a serendipitous thing because literally just yesterday I was watching a lot of videos to do with breaking habits, because like with this new year I've been trying to do a few things to get better at like bad habits and good habits and establishing them. And there was one study, you guys have probably heard of it. It's the one where they have some kids and they give them a marshmallow, right? And they say if you don't eat the marshmallow, like I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come back, and if you don't eat the marshmallow by the time I come back, you'll get 2 marshmallows. It's a study in delayed gratification, right? If you can wait, you'll get twice as much reward. But the thing was, with the kids, only a third of them were able to wait the 10 minutes before the person come back. And it's like, it doesn't seem like it's related to being a bad habit, but it is in relation to self-control, which is the core of trying to break a bad habit, right? And what they found is they did another study with adults, and this one hasn't been as verified, but it's a study with adults that was talking about, okay, is self-control and willpower in general something that is a depletable resource in humans? Like if someone uses up a lot of willpower to try to control them and try to avoid a habit or try to not do something, is that something that will lead them to not be able to resist something else down the road? And what they found was that yes, they did, because they did a similar experiment with adults. And again, I don't know how much this has been verified, but they had 2 groups of people go into a room, and there was a plate of radishes, I think, and a plate of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. And half of the group, they said you could not eat the chocolate chip cookies. You had to eat the radishes. The other group could eat whatever they want. Didn't really matter. After they like finished their meal or whatever they ate, they went and had the people do a puzzle. Both groups did the same puzzle, which is just an assembly puzzle. But the thing was, the puzzle was impossible. There was no way to solve the puzzle. And it was just a measure of see how long they would persevere to try to solve the puzzle. And the thing was, the group that had the radishes and had to exert some willpower to not eat the chocolate chip cookies, which were there and tempting, not during the puzzle, but just before, lasted half as long at solving the puzzle as the group that could eat whatever they wanted. Literally half, like as long. So there was a significant drop, and they're willing to do work that was impossible. I mean, maybe they figured it out, or maybe they just like didn't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, they just had to eat a whole plate of radishes, and they were like, I need some fucking water. Radishes are spicy.
So if I was forced to eat healthy food all the time, I would only work about 30 seconds a day is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. This is the conclusion. This is how science works, everybody. Everybody write it down.
I don't want to disparage an entire type of science, but I'm gonna. Whenever I hear an explanation of a social science experiment of this nature, which I feel like a lot of them are like, how do we test people's, something about a person without telling them or having them tell us? It's always like, we had them eat 2 cookies, and then we walked them down the hall to a room filled with pictures of the cookies they ate, and then we had them do an interview with the mother of the cookies that they ate. And one group saw the pictures and one group didn't see the pictures, and then we assessed the level of guilt that they felt about eating these cookies and leaving their mother childless. It always makes me feel like people who do come up with these experiments and do social science, are they not humans? Are they aliens trying to learn how humans work, or what? Because when you read the question of, is willpower a limited resource, is there any person alive who's a normal, has had a relatively, experience within the realm of humanity, some kind of relatable experience, who wouldn't agree that, yeah, obviously it is? Does that need to be empirically tested?
I mean, honestly,
this is a kind of science confirming things that literally every person has experienced, because at some point you have to do something and you don't want to. And after you do it, you're like, oh, fuck, I hated that. And then you don't want to do that anymore. It just sounds crazy to me. Does it not sound crazy to you guys, or are you interested?
No, I'm interested, but also, yeah, it does make total sense. But there are many things that would make complete sense, but you never think about it. And then once you do, you're like, oh God, of course. And that's one of those things. And the reason I bring it up is when it comes down to breaking a bad habit, what they discovered about that kid experiment, the third that didn't eat the marshmallow had higher SAT scores, were more successful later in life. All these incredible things. And do you know what they did to do it? The only thing they did to not eat those marshmallows, it's not like they were superhumans from birth and with incredible self-control. All they did was
just didn't look at it or something.
They didn't look at it. They did whatever they could to get it off their mind, to not think about it.
Yeah.
That's it. They look away. They come up with games to play while they're not thinking about the marshmallow. It's like the kids who looked at it longer wanted to eventually caved in. And that's the whole thing about habits is yes, there are unconscious habits that you do unconsciously, and you kind of have to catch yourself to do them. But when you're trying to not do something, the most important thing is just to not think about it, period. Because if you think about it, even if you're thinking about like, I can't do X, Y, Z, I'm trying to quit smoking, I can't take one, it'd be bad. Even thinking about that, trying to get justification for you not doing it, is sapping your willpower at every moment. So it's interesting.
I mean, so that's the thing. I sounded judgy. I do find them interesting, social science experiments, especially ones that really probe like the more complex nature of humanity and morality and stuff. But they just all seem like they're designed by a lizard who's like, and why would you eat the marshmallow? You were told not to. I can't understand.
All right. Well, someone's got to do the science, man. Someone's got to ask the question. Just because you're not willing to do it.
That must be fun science, dude.
Oh,
like theoretical physicists are like, the building blocks of the universe. How do we unify? And social science people are just like, is it more painful to fart or not fart? We should get some beans and some college students and see about farting. And we can draw conclusions about whether it's good to fart or not. And the social science dean is like, yep, that's science.
Yeah. Meanwhile, bake this plate of fresh cookies for my next experiment, which is whether or not kissing on the lips is something you want to do after a cookie.
I want to conduct an experiment where I see how strangers kissing me on the lips affects my mood. I'm just gonna pay a bunch of college co-eds to come kiss me on the lips one at a time. See if I like that or not. I don't know if I will.
But that's why science is here.
I had a thing recently that I had to Google. I was like, Molly, she was like real gassy when I was like, please stop. And she's like, you want me to hold it in? It'll go into my bloodstream and come out of my breath. You want me to have fart breath? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, what happens if you don't fart when you I had to search it up because I was afraid Molly was gonna develop fart breath.
Well, this is the explanation I tried to give Amy, but she doesn't buy it, and I'm like, what do you think happens? No, I can't cut all this out. She would be so embarrassed. Look, you may be comfortable talking about Molly, but I will not slander Amy on this podcast.
Amy farts. You heard it first. Markiplier 2022. Amy farts.
No, Amy does not fart. That's the thing.
Oh, so she's not human.
Amy should fart.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm so glad we're not talking
Mark's
about this.
New Year's resolution is to get Amy to fart.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. I'm glad you finally found your resolution, man.
It's your resolution. I'm finding it for you.
I have resolutions. You don't have one. This is your resolution. You take it, man.
My resolution is to give you this resolution.
The honor is yours.
I was going to say, I'll give you 3 points if you take that resolution.
I take it. I'll take it.
All right, 3 points. There you go.
All right.
Fail any resolutions yet, Mark?
Nope. I have till the end of the year.
Can I just say I feel way worse about myself when you mentioned the topic to begin with? I was like, oh, I think I said this. I was like, oh no, I have some bad habits. Everything is a bad habit. What's a good habit? What do you do that's a good habit? Because I feel like everything on this list is like
111 is talking about your sister behind her back is bad. So maybe talking about your sister in front of her face is a good habit.
No, talking about your brother behind your back.
Oh, okay. Behind my own back?
according to number 112, then gluing scabs onto your skin must be a good habit.
Yeah. Popping zits is bad, so gaining zits must be good.
Checks out.
Being underly critical, being overly agreeable, it must be a good habit. Putting dishes on the floor and washing them must be a good habit.
Biting other people's lips, since biting your lips is bad.
Okay, so it's eating white sugar is bad and chocolate is bad, but eating black sugar and eating white chocolate would be good.
If candy's bad and M&M's is its own separate thing, does that mean Skittles is good?
Drinking soda and pop, drinking beer and blood. Obsessively checking your Android would be different than checking your iPhone.
Knowing it all is bad, so knowing nothing is good. So if you're an idiot, that's a good habit.
Yeah, eating meat, being eaten alive. Perfect.
Chewing tobacco is bad, but what about swallowing tobacco?
Video games, audio puzzles, good.
Audio puzzle is a puzzle the opposite of a game? Audio lectures.
Oh yeah, that one. That's better.
Flaking in?
Wouldn't it be chunking in?
Talking to yourself, screaming at everyone. Perfect.
Scream.
It seems like everything in class is bad. So if you're not in class, don't take classes. Then you can't be late and you can't do all the bad things in class. Masturbating's bad, so just have lots of sex with people.
Shove. Oh. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, you go.
Shoving what?
Nothing?
Show. Whoop.
Huh? What will you say?
Falling asleep in class is bad, but if someone carries you into class while you're asleep and you wake up in class, that's good.
That is good.
That's a tough habit to maintain, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have a carrier for each class. You gotta really schedule your naps so they time out right. That's a tough life.
Yeah, you got to find someone who says yes to everything. That's a bad habit that they need to break, but before they break it, take advantage of it. I don't see taking advantage of people on this list, so that might still be okay.
That might be a good habit.
All right, so how to change your bad habits, right? A lot of these tips seem to revolve around tracking and identifying things that trigger your habit and either replacing the trigger or giving yourself some sort of temporary alternate habit. Let's provide the listeners with some valuable advice.
Okay.
Let's pick a habit
Nail
and
biting.
try and okay, what
Cut off your fingers, you don't have nails.
that's not a trigger though. What's the trigger? We gotta go through the process.
For me, it's whenever I feel a rough spot on my finger. I think it's like a nervous habit too. Sometimes I find myself biting my nails. I'm like, when did I start doing this? But if I feel like a rough spot on a nail or like on my skin around my nail, I'm like, I must feast on you.
What, like your nail is chipped, like a jagged edge or something?
Yeah, like if there's just a spot that stands, I think it's sharper than the rest of the nail, or yeah, a little jagged edge or a hangnail or.
Okay, so you need to get manicures.
Okay, that's better than chopping off my fingers.
Seems like a better solution.
Manicure.
Man, it's like I feel like these things are things that you don't necessarily need to break as a habit, right? Because it's not hurting you. It's not hurting anyone.
Bad for your teeth.
I don't know. They say that, but I think that's just something they say to try to make you not do it. How bad could it possibly be versus like a soda or something like that versus not brushing one night? How, like, you don't bite your nails every day. Maybe some people do, but I doubt everyone does. It can't be as bad as other things are currently for your teeth. So my thought process is just like, there's got to be something else going on here. There's got to be like some other habit to really like hone down. You know what I'm saying?
You think there's a habit behind the habit?
I think so.
That's what you need to change?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm 100% thinking. Well, no, I'm just saying like there are worse habits. So you can only change so many things. So why would you waste time trying to change something as innocuous as, say, biting your nails? The bad habits would be self-destructive things, right? Like smoking or like addiction to pretty much addictions, right? Addictions are probably the habits that are the worst ones that people need to try to break because they are heavily reinforced on the reward side. Whereas biting your nails, there's no real reward for it. It's just something you do purely out of unconscious habit.
After eating wings or something, sometimes they can be flavory. You get that hot sauce soaked into your skin, you got a snack for later.
Why would you be? Why would you be? Why are you be?
Have you ever bitten a nail and there's a nasty flavor? And you're like, what the fuck is this?
No.
Oh, yeah, me either.
Wade just looks down at his nail. There's something kind of like blackish, brownish under the nail. Like he scraped something and he's like, huh. Just goes to town and tries to get it out. Like, I gotta taste what that is.
Yeah, let's find out. Is it chocolate or is it poop?
I don't remember doing either of those recently. I have no
Why
idea.
would it be poop? Why would it be poop?
Oh, I don't know.
Sometimes you get poop nails. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you just get poop nails.
You telling me you never get poop nails, Mark?
I've never had poop nails a day in my life.
Well, look at you. So successful. You don't even get poop nails anymore.
Anymore? When would you get poop nails?
I don't know, man.
When have you got poop nails?
Come on, every kid's played with a little Duke before.
I don't know about that, man.
And it's still under my nails to this day.
The idea of your nails are just like this weird storage thing. So someone is like, hey, wait, do you want some, got some Cheetos? You want some Cheetos? Like, nah, I got some. You look down at your hand like, I think that was in the pinky. I think I got some Cheetos dust in my pinky. Digging it out. Have a little snack.
Yeah, sometimes Cheetos, those can flavor your fingers for a while. That cheese soaks in. That'd be good for you.
So you like plan out your day's snack based on what nail you want to occupy you that day? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sometimes you got to eat with the pinky and the thumb because your other 3 fingers are already flavored up for the day.
No, I'm talking. This is premeditated pinkies. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you go about your days knowing you have storage. You actually replaced your nails with little like pockets. You've hollowed out each finger so that there's more room in there for the flavors. So you just gotta pop the top off of your nail.
I got a chocolate for my thumb, barbecue sauce for the index, hot sauce for my middle finger.
Yep.
You have your sweet and sour for the ring finger and a little teriyaki on the pinky.
Yep.
And then a whole other hand if you want to go crazy.
I've actually replaced all my fingers with sauce dispensers, so at any moment, you know.
What do you have? Garlic sauce, butter, and salt?
You need some sriracha over there? Oh, Frank's Red Hot right here.
You can put that shit on anything.
I'll put it on anything.
How much sauce can your finger dispensers hold? Is it the volume of your fingers, or is it bigger than that?
I've actually threaded the tendons that reach all the way up to my elbow because your fingers are controlled by very fine motors from your forearm. So it's really quite a hefty tube. And then
His heart is just a container of different sauce
I've
flavors,
replaced
and the
my
veins pump out.
when you go to dispense, you hold your hand out and it's like the person's like, why is it like that? You're like, oh, it pumps with my heart.
very ejaculatory sauce.
It's not constant, you know.
The worst is the mayonnaise coming out of the left big toe. Oh, the mayonnaise toe is the worst.
Mayonnaise toe.
You have to get it excited. You're like, you want some mayonnaise? Hang on.
Take off your
Hold it
shoe and
still.
sock.
Don't move it. Go.
No
Mayonnaise.
one's gonna believe that's mayonnaise. No one. They're not even gonna believe my intricate like system of sauces in my body. They're just gonna think I'm jerking off on their salad. You know. I don't know why they want mayonnaise on their salad, but work with me.
See, I do the ketchup nose bit where they think I've got a bloody nose, but it's just the ketchup dispenser.
I like to trick people into think that I'm doing something horribly obscene, but really I'm just shooting sauce out my nose.
Well, that's why I made my penis the mustard dispenser. That way they know it's not mayo.
Yeah, yellow thing out of my dick. Yeah, they won't think it's mayo.
Yeah, you don't want them to think it's something gross.
Yeah, no. Wait till they see the chocolate dispenser around the corner.
Wait till you see the fudge shop. I can dispense very neatly packaged individual logs of fudge, you could say.
Yes, yes.
If you all don't break your bad habits out there, you're going to end up as stupid as we are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your warning.
What is a real bad habit that you guys have?
All right, we doing real talk?
I think we could do real talk.
We do a little real talk?
Yes.
I smoked cigarettes for a time.
Yeah.
I did it.
Nail biting, and I chew on my lower lip sometimes.
How we just established that sort of stuff is not real.
No,
bad
we're
habits.
talking like bad habits.
Well, I will say this is gonna sound really douchey. I'm sorry to anyone out there who has like a nicotine addiction because I know it's really rough. Nicotine never did it for me.
Yeah.
I was a musician, and musicians smoke a lot. Like that's just sort of part of the culture, especially when you're on a gig or whatever. You know, between sets, you go behind the bar, you have a drink, everyone sort of hangs out, has a cigarette, whatever. I've always liked cigars. I enjoyed the buzz that you get from smoking. Like it certainly gives you the nicotine high, but I never felt like I was addicted to it. And I don't know why that. Maybe I just am lucky, genetically not disposed, but like I just would. It was like drinking for me.
Yeah.
Like I would be at a place to be like, sure, I'll share one with you guys, whatever. And then the next day I'd wake up and be like, okay, I'm good and not addicted. I'm not gonna go buy a pack or whatever. But like I did that. It's still a bad habit, but I don't know. I don't know if that counts, I guess.
Yeah.
I never got addicted to drinking, but back in 2012, there was a 3-month stretch where I was going to hang out with our friend Jesse up at Miami University in Ohio. And I remember we would like go out drinking like once or twice a week, almost every week for like 2 or 3 months. I never got addicted to drinking, but I started to like get comfortable in the lifestyle of just going out and having some drinks and chatting it up and like, you know, living that bar life a little bit. And I can very easily see how that becomes habit forming and then an addiction, because it's not like you're really aware of the substance you're taking in. It's more like the situation. And then I imagine one day you wake up and then like the substance has also taken over your life, and then by that point it's too late. But just that situation of like going from like, I don't know, feeling like depressed and alone at home to like going out and just having laughs with people you don't even know, just like striking up conversation, laughing and drinking, whatever. Like it did have an like no pun intended with intoxication, but it was like an intoxicating atmosphere as well. well on top of that. So that one was one, especially with my family history, that was probably dangerous for me. But thankfully I was cognizantly aware of like what was going on, and like I stopped it whenever I realized it was becoming too much of like I'm looking a little bit too forward to going out and drinking.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've like with my history with alcohol, I couldn't be addicted even if I wanted to. And I've smoked before. I've had like a cigarette or two, and I've tried vaping, but I've never really like been addicted. But I did when I was younger. I know it's not the same, but I feel like I was addicted to pornography in a weird way.
Yeah.
Pornography. I don't know why I'm saying it like that.
I've heard people mention that before. That's not as uncommon. Like I think a lot of people are.
I think it was one of those sneaking things, like you don't even realize it because you never even would understand that it would be a problem. I mean, teen me looking at porn every day constantly because I was unbelievably fascinated with boobs and sex in general. Like that.
There's a free buffet of breasts on the internet. It's hard to stop.
It feels like a very common thing, but then I realized like the way that was kind of like distorting my perception of how like sex was. Like going into my first sexual experience of my life was just the most bizarre thing, because in no way is it ever going to be or should be like it is in pornography. And I have no problem with porn. Don't get me wrong. Like I got no problem with it. But there is like an excessiveness to it. There's like this consuming chasing, just like other drugs, where you're like constantly on the lookout for like novelty and more intense types of porn that you just have to like exceed what you had before. And that's like the addiction cycle. What did it for you before is not the same. And so like I feel like at some point in my life I could definitely say I was addicted to porn.
I just like the idea of your first sexual encounter, a girl, you know, like you're texting or whatever, she's like, you should come over. It's like late at night. It's like clearly a booty call. And you're like, all right. And you show up at the door with like a huge bucket of popcorn with a hole cut in it and your dick in there. And you just sit down and you're like, hey, it's nice to be here at your house. And she's just like, what the fuck? What is this? What are you doing? And you're like, don't be like that. Get over here. And you just start getting naked.
Why aren't you stuck in the dryer, stepsis?
You just wheel in my own dryer in case they don't have one. Here, could you? Okay, it's the only thing that does it for me. Could you just get in there?
Yeah, no, but that is the thing with the internet. It's becoming more and more, there's so much like specific and more niche stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like porn has been a thing for a long time. Mm-hmm. But like in our parents' generation, it was like you could get Playboy or Hustler or things like that, magazines, or you could maybe, if you had a connection or if once you got old enough, you could like go to the gross movie store, you know, and buy like a couple movies, VHS or whatever. But those all require like printing a thing or creating the VHS and distributing to stores. The internet, in the same way that you can make content that is you know, PG rated and post it on YouTube in 5 seconds, and all you need is like a cell phone and an internet connection. You can make porn in like 5 seconds. All you need is a cell phone and internet connection. You post it on whatever, all these sites that Pornhub and places that will just let you make a page and post whatever you want. There's all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like a rabbit hole, especially for young people, probably young boys, but you know, adolescent people who are like, what is sex? I feel all these things. And then you just go down the rabbit hole of whatever specific thing you might search for. It's like, oh, that does exist. Oh, I got a thing for balloons, I guess. I don't know.
Did I ever tell you guys my first experience with porn? What did you just link? What did you just link?
We talked about the sex dolls a while back. Not to interrupt your story.
No,
go back
this is worthy of it. What is this?
There was a man who married his sex doll, and apparently now he's in love with an ashtray.
Is this an Onion article? I feel like this is an Onion article.
This is a NewYorkPost.com article from this last year, September of 2021.
Okay, so this shouldn't be taken seriously. It's New York Post, not New York Times.
It's not a joke on purpose.
Hey, he wants to put a JJ on his ashtray. Can you really blame him for that?
It's New York Post, okay?
They print stuff.
They print stuff, yeah, okay.
It's the strongest argument I got, sorry.
Yeah, they do print stuff. All right, anyway, so did I ever tell you guys of my first experience with porn?
I don't think so, no.
I think we might have passed over that one.
Okay, so it was about when I was maybe 10, 11, and it's not what you think. Me and my friends, we were out in the woods, and we found this VHS tape, like in the creek. It's
nice.
It's ominous.
Yeah, this is a cursed video.
7 days to come.
Exactly. And so
you're gonna come in 7 days.
We brought it back, and it said, I forget what the name is, but it like said on the label, like clearly it was porn. And this kid, a friend from the neighborhood, was just like, "Oh my God, do you know what this is?" And I'm like, "I don't know what this is." And so we bring it back, and it's a VHS tape, right? We have a VHS player, and we don't think to play it because that would be too obvious. We'd get caught. There'd be some kind of record of it. You know what I mean? Oh, we can't do that. So what we do with our knowledge of how VHS tapes work is we pull the ribbon out, get a flashlight, try to shine it through the ribbon against the wall and be like, "Hey, we'll see the pictures and that'll be fine." And we're not seeing nothing. So we're just like, huh.
So you could have peeked in the living room and seen a naked lady, but instead you turned to that static channel hoping maybe to see a boob.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We continue to pull more ribbon out. And for those of you at home who don't know, that's not how VHS tapes work. It's a magnetic strip. There's no picture. It's not like a projector. We're very dumb. So we pull the whole ribbon out, being like, maybe it starts earlier. And so we pull and pull and pull, and lo and behold, there was none. And we kind of completely ruined the tape. So even if it could be played in a VHS tape before from the creek bed, it definitely couldn't have been then. So
What was the name of the porn? I'll find it for you so you can finally watch
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely available online, probably for free.
There's so much of that archival porn that just is lost to the winds to be found in a creek bed. I bet if I did play that, I would be dead because that was a cursed tape. That was a trap.
Well,
Yeah.
no, you know what though? I gotta say that specific thing, young men hiding porn in the woods, that's never gonna be a phenomenon again.
You're right.
Because
man.
I have my own story with woods porn.
Yeah, me too. I walked out the other day and there was just a whole PC in the woods.
No. When we were kids, I grew up in a neighborhood where it wasn't right behind my house, but there was kind of like a wooded area pretty close to my house. You could cut through the backyards and get to it, or you could like go around on the bike path and get into the woods. And there was an area where kids had sort of, borrowed shovels and things and made like a dirt bike path, where it's like you go around and there's a spot in the woods where there's a little cutout and you can turn in there. If you ride back, there's like a little loop that kids had sort of cut the bush and tried to make a little jump with like piling stuff up and putting dirt on it. It was a whole thing, right? And so we'd go hang out back there sometimes. You ride your bike over and you ride the loop and you watch your buddies ride the loop. Well, we were hanging out over there and like, it wasn't me that made the discovery, but at some point, someone was just sort of screwing around, looking around under a log, like covered in leaves. And obviously in a hiding spot, there was like a plastic container filled with varying degrees of like porn magazines. And I mean, like, it had like the Macy's women's underwear section, but also it had like half of a Playboy. This was clearly the stash of one or some guys who were like, "Oh, I found this scrap of porn, put it in the box. This is our secret porn stash."
Like Lord of the Flies out there with the conch shell. They've got the porn.
Yeah, man.
But like, that was a thing in our generation. And
Yeah.
we found that and we looked through it, right? We looked through everything and we were like, oh, look at that one. And then we put it all back in and made sure it was closed and watertight, and we put it back in its hiding spot very respectfully because it was not ours to take. But like, that's never going to be a thing again. Maybe having like, I don't know, secret files on your phone, or like trying to hide stuff with like naming
Your
it.
burner phone you hide in the woods.
You don't have to hide your porn in the woods anymore. Got a world our kids gonna grow up in.
I mean, if you think about that, if that's a common enough experience that both I experienced it as a child, you experienced it as a child, there are stores and stashes, like geocaching, like scavenger hunts.
This is how we get people to go outside and break their bad indoor habits. Go out there, find the porn. It's out there to be discovered.
And we're not even joking this time. It probably is.
No, it
The
definitely
final
is.
full frontal.
I never made my own. I didn't have a group of friends we did that with, but I like the idea of someone our age in like 60 years or whatever on their deathbed, just like, "Grandson, come closer. I need you to know, in the woods behind Grandma and Ma's house, there's a rock with a penis crudely carved into the side. I need you to find the box. You'll become a man if you can find this rock.
Yeah.
Look at the contents of the box.
Bury it with me.
They're greeting Grandpa's will. And it's like, and to my son, the youngest, I leave this map. It's just like,
They're all like fighting for they think it's like wealth beyond their imagination. They all get there, they're like fighting over it, and they open it up. It's just like a porn mag that you can't even open all the pages.
it's Grandpa and Grandma, in their heyday.
No! No!
Oh, that would be.
Hey, it's in their heyday.
Yeah, okay. That makes it less traumatizing.
Oh, thank you, step grandpa.
Of course,
As
you're
long
right.
as it's hot, I don't mind if I walk in on my grandparents doing it. If it's not hot, though,
I'm taking over. We were having a good discourse, and now we're talking about our naked grandparents. I gotta put an end to this.
Oh, come on.
find the porn.
Find it!
Go out.
I gave out a lot of points this time.
Uh-huh.
So I got 32 points here for Mark.
Ooh.
I got 34 here for Bob.
34.
Points, good points.
Hold on. I got. You know what? Fuck it. You guys tied at 69 points apiece. I feel like that's the right way to end it after everything that happened. However, Mark has a New Year's resolution he promised, which gives him a bonus 3 points, and therefore Mark wins.
Ooh, I thought you counted that. Oh.
You didn't even give me the opportunity to take some terrible resolution.
I did at the end. The dramatic reveal.
Oh.
Dramatic reveal. Mark wins because he's promised to make Amy fart, I think. Was that what it was?
Wait a minute.
Congratulations.
I forgot what
Amy,
it
I'm
was.
so sorry that Mark has done this to you.
That was such a real oops.
Oh,
I love that.
Oh, God.
We're doing a bit. Ho, whoop, whoop. Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Well, now it's etched in the stones of Distractible history,
It sure
locked in a
is.
box for our viewers to go out into the woods and find.
Interesting.
The fart box is out there. Go find it, viewers. Any words from our winner?
Well, I think I've gone too deep for everything to be bleeped out at this point, so I'll just own it. I solemnly swear that I said this year my New Year's resolutions were going to mean something. I really did say that. And you know what? If this is what it is to be, then it shall be done. Just no one tell Amy about this, because otherwise...
I literally just opened a Twitter tab because I've got a bad habit of opening Twitter tabs. This is the first fucking thing on my feed.
Well, now you've Googled the wrong things, Wade. Now you're going to
90
see...
Day Fiance star retires from selling farts after heart attack scare. So
Why would that have anything to do with that?
Bob, any final words from you?
I don't know. I can't possibly make this ending any better. I'm just happy to be here.
No.
Mark, I hope it was worth it. You won an entire episode of Distractible for that New Year's resolution. I'm
you.
sure it will be worthwhile.
Thank you.
Watch for your bad habits out there, everybody. Remember, don't talk about your sister behind her back. It's a bad habit.
Bad habit.
Thank you all for listening. You can find Mark at Markiplier pretty much everywhere. Markiplier Game on YouTube. Bob is MySkirm on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. Or not Twitch. Twitch and Facebook.
Okay, thank you for the accurate
I'm
plug.
good at this. YouTube, the word YouTube escaped my
There it
brain
is.
there. And Facebook, you can find me as Lord Minion777 most places, Minion777 on Twitch. Stay tuned for the next episode where Mark will undoubtedly do a great job of hosting. It will be much more interesting than our bad habits and fart sales. Until then, podcast out! Woo!
Did you make that noise, Wade?
No.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't me. Why are you so accusatory there, Bob?
I don't know. I thought you literally said podcast out and then hyped your own ending. I was like, that's kind of a weird choice.